LeVert is an ascending guy. You know, he's coming into his primes, as he mentioned, his 6th year in the league. He's coming home. He is from Columbus, played his high school basketball at Pickerington Central, where back in 2012, wearing number 22 here, you can see he can play some defense. He helped the Tigers win a state championship. In fact, he was the leading scorer in the state championship game, which you're looking at. Had 18 points in the game. Jayshawn Tate in the NBA. Taco Charlton of the Pittsburgh Steelers now, teammates on his Pickerington Central team. You see he scored 11 straight points there in a critical stage when Pickerington Central pulled away.
How much were you in on just getting him to Michigan in the first place?
Yeah, he was signed to go to Ohio University, and the coach ended up leaving and taking another job, which left him looking for a different opportunity. And Caris Alexander was actually the lead recruiter on him, but we all kind of had contact and talked to him and his high school coaches, and were able to get him on a visit. Weren't able to see him play in person. It was past his senior year in the spring, so a lot of film study and obviously seeing what he could do via film, and as much as anything, doing a lot of the intel to just figure out what kind of person he was, and so it was a home run for Michigan. We knew he was in need of development just with his body, the way he was built, and he was skinny, needed to gain weight, but you could tell he could play, and he was a great person and a great teammate.
Oh yeah, playing one-on-one against my brother, against my dad, they just made me more competitive. I mean, you don't want to lose to those guys. You live with them. You're going to hear about it every day. I grew up probably a bigger Ohio State football fan. It definitely is weird to say. I mean, I catch myself kind of cheering for Ohio State football, like when they play and stuff like that. I had a really, really fun childhood growing up with my younger brother, who's 11 months younger than me.
People would stop me and say, "Are they twins?" Growing up, they were so nice. I mean, it was a joy to have in the household. They would do a lot of things together. They would play together. They're very, very competitive.
I have a lot of childhood memories with Caris, some just fighting, but no matter how many fights we get into, it's never serious. It's all out of love.
We used to do everything growing up, playing board games, backyard football. We walked back and forth to school together. So, I mean, it was a lot of good conversations in those times. We know so much about each other. It's like we're the same person.
Touch the rim. All right. That was my high. All right, I'm going to touch your rim first, and then we'll go.
That's all we knew growing up is basketball. We both had basketballs in our cribs, and we both slept with basketballs. When we were little, my dad just really instilled that in us. He didn't force us to do it, but we both ended up wanting to do it.
That's Daryl Douglas.
My dad, he played Division III at Capital University. The main thing he taught us was just to stay on an even keel, not to get too high or too low. You're gonna have a great game, you're gonna have a bad game, but you just gotta stay kind of even keeled and you'll be all right. On Easter Sunday, my sophomore year in high school, my brother Daryl woke up and went downstairs. I think we were all supposed to go to church. And he ran back up to my room and he was like, "Caris, wake up, wake up." So I got up, he was like, "Dad's not moving." So I ran downstairs. We both was trying to wake him up and he wasn't moving. So I called 911. They got there and then obviously they told us that he was dead.
It was just a rough morning for both of us with my mom not being there, and just a bad memory to have. But I don't know.
The hardest part about that was probably having to call everyone, like calling his mom, my grandma, calling my mom, and just like hearing their reactions.
After that happened, basketball really became our escape, just to get our mind off things, especially him. He always loved basketball, but I saw a more driven person after that happened, a more motivated person to get where he wants to go.
All right, the Pacers are going to make this pick. This is the pick that's going here to Brooklyn as a result of the Thaddeus Young trade. Commissioner Silver going to step to the microphone now.
With the 20th pick in the 2016 NBA Draft, the Indiana Pacers select Caris LeVert from the University of Michigan.
James Harden was traded to the Nets instantly. 7 players had their lives changed. Well, one of them may have actually had their life saved. Our Candace Parker, who is phenomenal, spoke with Indiana Pacers star Caris LeVert about the trade, the physical, and his future.
Oh, LeVert busting ankles, bottom, Caris LeVert.
This young man can just flat out score the basketball.
Oh, that's filthy. LeVertical. What a play. Caris LeVert.
James Harden on the move to Brooklyn. A massive deal. The Pacers getting Caris LeVert. A lot of players moving in this blockbuster deal.
Well, during LeVert's physical, they discovered a small mass on his kidney.
They found that mass on his kidney because of that trade.
Trade may have saved his life.
Everybody doesn't understand the life of, being a professional athlete. One thing that is routine when you're going through a trade, when you're starting a season, you take physicals. So what was your mindset going into this physical?
Yeah, I thought it was just a regular physical. I was in the hospital for maybe 3 or 4 hours. So I knew something was going on, but I didn't know what it was. And one of the docs, he called me and he was basically like, I just want to let you know you're going to be traveling with the team today. We found something in your MRI. And he told me, he was like, you have a tumor on your left kidney. And I was like, well, I just froze. I didn't know what to say. I was stunned. It was weird. I was playing well. That was definitely pretty tough hearing that news.
You had renal cell carcinoma. Were they confident and positive that, obviously you were going to be able to return to play basketball, but that you were going to be able to live a normal life?
Yeah, so it was probably maybe 2 days after the first initial test. There was good news and there was bad news. The good news was that, I hadn't spread anywhere, but it was cancerous. So going into the surgery, they were pretty confident that I would be able to play basketball again. They just didn't know when. They didn't know if they were going to have to remove my whole left kidney. But once they went in there and, saw how it was positioned within my kidney, they kind of made the decision that, that would be best for myself long term.
So what was your feeling just in terms of how you feel about basketball and life?
I definitely felt extremely fortunate, first and foremost, because had I, not got traded or got any of the testing done, it could have spread and it could have been way worse than it actually was. After that, basketball is kind of just extra for me. So when I go out there and play, I have so much joy and I don't take it for granted because I know that at the end of the day, it could have been over. I could not be playing basketball. I could not, be living right now.
Caris LeVert hitting the floor for the first time as a member of the Indiana Pacers.
Good to see him back and healthy.
7 weeks later, you're in your first game, March 13th. What are those feelings going into this game?
I had a lot of feelings going through my head because, not only was this my first game with a new team, so I'm playing with new guys, playing for a new coach, a new city. So it was a lot of emotions. I couldn't sleep the night before. I was so excited to play in that game for sure.
LeVert, who was able to sneak behind the Suns defense. Caris LeVert, 13 in his Indiana Pacers debut.